Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'll be writing to take responsibility and do the work. I can't remember his name. Dandapani, I believe it was. So this is something I do believe in. Now, don't get me wrong, I think we all, in a sense, know to take responsibility, but I think we slip up at sometimes. And also to do the work, that's another thing that a lot of people don't want to do, even though we know we should. I'm not saying everyone, but I do have a feeling that this is a growing thing that people are taking less and less responsibility and not wanting to do the work. Hey, look, if you don't want to do the work, that's fine, but expect the results. If you don't put in work, you don't get results. And people don't like that. People want to get the results without doing the work. And I think that's something growing in, again, I keep saying Western culture, probably in America, Western culture, but I just don't think it's a Western thing. I have a feeling this is a developed city thing. I don't want to say developed country because I have a feeling even in, say, developing countries, if they have a city that's very well developed, and then just the rest of the country, or maybe just big metropolitan areas, are generally going to be more developed than, say, the outskirts of it. That's very much true in my birth country, and that's very much true even in the United States, honestly. You have metropolitan areas that are like, they have everything basically. Everything that you want's there. You have high tech everything. Then you go further out from that, it doesn't have quite all the high tech stuff, but it's still well developed. And then if you go out into like the really, really far out there, it looks like they're still in the medieval age or sometimes. But again, I think because of all the conveniences that we have, that we start, well, it can't be the conveniences, but I have a feeling this is just a developed thing where people are just becoming lazy because everything is so convenient. So they don't want to do the work and they don't want to take responsibility. But responsibility, I think, deals with more with upbringing, and doing the work deals with more along with upbringing. Everything deals with upbringing, honestly. But doing the work is also with the convenience. If everything's been so convenient, why do you want to do the work for anything else? Let's go ahead and get started. I talk too much.
You got me thinking in a different way. I don't know where it all resides, but I definitely want to kind of take that test at the end of the book and just because
Yeah.
why not take that assessment? Why not critically look at? And that's one of the gifts that you've laid here is why don't I critically look at, just like I would any business I'm going to get involved with or whatever,
Right.
and like why don't I critically look at that and 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 answer and ask myself the questions that can reveal maybe more of the truths that are even subconscious that are already playing out as a result of 5 decades of being on the planet. Um,
And Darren, I think the big thing is that when it comes to spirituality, people think structure, process, goals are not necessary, right? They think that in spirituality, one should be free, a sense of freedom. I want to be connected to the universe. I'm not held back. There's no boundaries. This is all bullshit. I spent 10 years living as a monk, and I was so blessed to have one of the most, if not the most enlightened human being I've ever met in my life train me. He was all about structure, discipline, outlining a path and defining the goal clearly, because then it allowed me to harness my energy, channel it down a path with clear guidelines, boundaries on either side to allow me to keep my energy within a certain parameter, focus it towards a clearly defined goal in order to achieve and experience it. It's like a hose, right? If I put it in that spray mode, it's all over the place. But if I can put it to jet mode, I can funnel that water to the one plant that I need to water. And we take this approach with everything in our life. Everything in our life has structure. The most mundane things: you put a shoe on, you put your socks, your shoes, you tie your laces. You never mix those steps out. Taking a shower, you take your clothes off, you go in the shower, you turn the water on, you check the temperature, you get wet, you put soap on, you wash the soap off, you dry yourself, you put new clothes on, you leave. What's 8, 9 steps I shared? Do you ever mix it up? What?
Sometimes, nah. No, but yes, absolutely. Of course, you obviously want to have as much structure as possible, but not so rigid that it's inflexible. You want to make sure that you're able to handle different things that just so happen to come up during the middle of the day or in your life. Otherwise, if you're so structured and so rigid that that a thing that you didn't account for destroys everything, then you are way too stiff, too rigid on your paths. Good to have a nice path to follow, the focus, to do what you need to do, to know what you need to go to and finish that path, but not so rigid that the fact that you cannot deviate from the path if something were to come up or an issue were to arise. You know, you have to be flexible, but also being able to have a nice path.
Why don't you say like, hey, I want to be free, man. You know, life's about being free. Let's diversity. Let's just mix it up. I'll go in the shower with my clothes on, put soap on my clothes. Cool, man. Let's feel some peace, brother.
Hey, man, you know, if you want to take a shower and wash your clothes at the same time, that is not a bad idea. And I want to go back real quick with this hose, you know, with the jet and then the shower. Yeah, you don't want to use a jet on your plants because you'll be blowing out all the dirt and everything. Shower is actually best because it's gentler. I'm nitpicking there, but I just wanted to point that out.
Why don't we do that? Everything else you allow structure, but when you come to spirituality, you don't have the balls to commit, to define your goals, and all of a sudden you tell me this bullshit about the universe going to guide you. You think Pluto, Jupiter, and Uranus are sitting around planning out your life? Give me a freaking break. They're not. I think they got better things to do than think about your pity life on this planet. So don't cop out. Put the responsibility on these planets and this universe. Do the work. Figure it out yourself. Imagine if I said to you, Darren, you know what? I'm a little bit overweight. I've got the 20 pounds from COVID around my belly. But you know what? The universe is going to guide me. The universe is going to take care of me. I'm just going to surrender, man. I'm just going to surrender myself to the universe. And in about 3 months, I'm going to be ripped and healthy. The universe is going to guide me. What would you say to me? You go, this guy's nuts.
I will say, maybe even at that, so there are some people out there who will just don't even see it that way. I suppose they don't want to take responsibility, don't want to do the work, and they just don't care. They want the results, no matter how it's done, without them doing the work, and that's a problem. And I think I do believe before we had all these conveniences, whether it be cell phone, internet, cars, bikes, whatever it may be, a lot of people had to put in the work. But now with modern technology, not so much anymore, and it's making a lot of people lazy. I don't blame them necessarily, but you have to put it this way. If you don't want to do the work, again, I'm repeating this, if you don't want to do the work, then don't expect results. But then again, you know, if you have money, you can pay someone to do the work for you, and then you can expect the results. But you cannot be mad because you didn't do it yourself. You paid someone else to do it.
The same way people talk to me about spirituality, and I go like, you're freaking nuts. Why don't we take a logical, reasonable approach to spirituality like we do to business, to everything else in life? It's an easy excuse not to do the hard work. You know, no one wants to do the hard work.
You just blasted me. That was incredible because it's so true. Why I'm laughing is because you just put a freaking target on it, and it's so true. What everyone does, it's all of a sudden I'm targeted. I'm on a ship. I've got my bow. I've got my sail, but all of a sudden spirituality, you pull the sail down, pull the bow, and now all of a sudden you're just flailing around in the ocean.
Would you approach your business that way?
No, and maybe I have in some respects over the years, and I certainly won't anymore. Yeah.
Right. So why it doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. You don't get results. Yeah. Would you approach your body that way? In getting your body healthy and fit and strong? You won't.
Oh, that's super. Dandapani, yep. Okay. Let's have a nice picture of Dandapani here.
Logical.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird that he never thought about, you know, you have to, there's nothing in life that you cannot put work in. You have to put work in anything that you want in life. Now again, if you pay for someone to do your work, you can't necessarily be mad at him, but then again, you did pay him, so you have an expectation. But you can't expect whoever you pay to read your mind to get it exactly perfect unless you describe it to that person. But anyways, I do believe this is a declining thing. Declining. I don't know how to say it. I'm done with the video, so if you want to end it now, it's fine. I'm going to be doing some talking here. So I think responsibility and doing the work is something that's declining. And I think it's because of the comforts that we have in the culture. I do believe everything comes from upbringing, your culture, mostly upbringing. That is always going to be the case for everything, I do believe. Upbringing, more than anything. Culture will be the second thing. So if someone raises a spoiled brat and the culture exacerbates that spoiled brat, then that kid is going to be a spoiled brat through and through. Now, is it guaranteed? No, I don't think so. The reason why I say that, because it's kind of me a little bit. I'm not necessarily, I didn't grow up spoiled or anything. It's just, how do I say, trying to relate to my upbringing, which is, I mean, I wasn't really bad. I was pretty good. But I mean, I guess the thing that I'm trying to point out is the sheer fact that there's a lot of things that I wasn't taught, and I actually learned myself. So I took responsibility for the lack of knowledge that I have, and I did the work in doing the research. It's something that I do all the time. And I do understand that if I don't put the work in, I can't expect results, and it's all my fault that if I wanted something and I don't put in the work, then, you know, all I got's myself to blame. And again, with modern society, especially with all the comforts that we have, I think this is something that's an increasing of the laziness or the not wanting to do the work. I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Do you think people are taking less and less responsibility for their actions and also are not wanting to do the work, or becoming essentially lazy? Now, don't get me wrong, if you're lazy and you know it, that's fine. But don't be lazy and expect results or expect other people to do it. That's where I have a problem. You could be completely and utterly lazy and take no responsibility, but expect nothing from anyone else, or don't expect anything. Okay, that's fine, because you don't put in the work, you don't get anything, basically. But if you don't put in the work and expect everyone to do it for you, that's a problem. I'm just pretty chill like that. But you know, you're probably not going to have a lot of friends. I mean, maybe you'll have some friends that just come and talk to you, but probably won't be, you know, sharing a room or sharing an apartment with them, because if you don't put in the work to pay the bills or anything like that, take any responsibility, then you're not a good roommate. Anyway, that's my reaction to take responsibility and do the work. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.